Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's takeaway. We're super excited about this one. On Monday, we gave our bursars a really awesome challenge to build a remote interactive game that can be played over a network. And today they're going to be presenting what they managed to build in just 4 days. This includes the presentation itself. So some house rules. We've got a Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. Please feel free to ask your questions there. After they've presented, we'll have a quick round of them answering these questions. Feel free to discuss and chat in the chat section as well. So we're going to start now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to welcome you to our BBD 2020 VAC Week presentation where this was our first online VAC Week at BBD. And it was quite a success, but we had some various challenges with the online Zoom meetings. We were tasked by our ATC team to build Pictionary using external API sensors. But instead of using the conventional method, we were tasked to use phone sensors so we could virtually draw using the phone sensors, and this would be broadcasted to various devices. So the game is based on Pictionary, as I mentioned now. So basically, you would use a phone, and you would use the phone as a laser pointer, and you would draw virtually, and this data would then be broadcasted to the various devices, and it would show up on the other devices, and the other players would then get a chance to guess and take part in a 60-minute round to guess which word we are trying to draw. I am part of the Null and Void game engine team. So our task was to create all the game logic and all the various rules and how the game would work, and all the data that flows to us would then update certain game states. We used object-oriented programming, so we used JavaScript aggregation, and we created a game state, player state, and a words generator where we used the Firebase API to store our words, and which we would then update as levels and rounds progress. We make the words progressively harder. Challenges we faced was we spent a lot of our dev budget working on unnecessary features because it was difficult swapping in and out of the different breakout rooms, and we didn't really know what the API team or the front-end team needed from us. But at the end, we had a very good result where we wrote a bunch of unit tests and integration tests where we tested all of our various methods, and we were on a very good foot. We worked very efficiently and provided a UML diagram to the API team so they knew which classes and which methods were available for the various endpoints they had for the front end. I now hand over to the communication team, to Zander.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Zander and I'm representing team communication. Essentially what our core responsibility was to be a gateway for the front end to go through us to communicate with the game engine. So any functions or actions that they needed to send to the game engine, we would direct them on their course and essentially broadcast the updated game state to everyone. So more about our responsibilities. Essentially, we use the Node.js server environment that we containerized using Docker, which makes it easy for like a one-click deploy. We used MongoDB as our database to store the game state, and we used JWT tokens as our authentication method. This allowed us to use secured socket connections, which overcame the challenge of latency. So the drawing that you'd see, look, it's pretty much real time. And as a result, finally, we were able to achieve a fully containerized environment, which allows for easy deployments, and we expose the functionality to the front-end team, which they can then call as they saw fit to get the updated game state to all the players in their session. I'll now hand over to Michael, and he's going to take over.
Hi, my name is Michael. I was part of Team Track the Phone movement, so pretty much the core of the whole project, right? So what we had to do is using a phone, get this phone as a laser pointer pretty much, and get that input, map it to a screen, 2D in the cameras, and send that over the net. So what we did was we used the generic sensors API. Unfortunately, that's not supported on iOS, so if you do have an iPhone, this game's not going to work for you. We use the absolute orientation sensor within this API. And what that does is it returns the phone's coordinates in terms of the world reference coordinate system. and it gives you the reading in quaternions. And from there, we use a little bit of math, and then from this quaternion data, we get it into 2D data, which we map onto the screen. Some of the challenges we faced was, well, getting that to work in general, because we tried a few times. We tried on iPhones. We didn't know why it wasn't working, and then we remembered API is not supported. Also, to be able to test, we had to use the API team, the communication team, to be able to push all this information to the server and then broadcast that to the clients. So that had to be up and functioning fully for us to be able to fully test. But like Zander was saying, it pretty much works in real time now. The thing goes at about 60 hertz with the updates, and you'll see in the demonstration just now, it is quite smooth.
Hi guys, I'm Duncan. So my team was responsible for the general interaction of the whole system. So basically we had to create some sort of interface that would facilitate the whole gameplay, as well as integrating with both Michael's team as well as the API team. So some of the challenges that we faced was the integration. There were some mis-ideas of how the game would work, but we did manage to solve it. And as a result, we managed to create an interface which facilitates basically the whole gameplay. So I'm sure you guys have been enjoying the memes. I can't hear you guys laughing on the internet, but we wanted to show you one last meme, the biggest meme of them all, and that's all of us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give you a little bit of a live demo. So before we do that, I'm just going to give you a quick tutorial on how the whole game works, what you expect to see, what you expect to do. So, okay, so this will be what you see on the laptop. So basically the white area is the canvas where the drawing will be taking place. So when somebody is drawing, it will appear on that canvas. At the bottom right, you have a text box where you can submit your guesses. You can either push enter or click submit. Everybody's guesses will appear in the guesses are here text box. And then above that are the players, where you can see who is the player and what is their score. So basically how the phone will work. So when you first connect, it'll say drawing disabled. When it is your turn, it'll automatically become enabled. You'll be given 3 different word choices, and a timer will start of 10 seconds. So you have to make a choice within 10 seconds. If you don't make a choice, it'll randomly choose one for you. So I hope you're ready for that. Once you've made the choice, it'll go into the third screen where you'll have your word above you. You'll then have 60 seconds to draw. So I suggest what you first do is you click calibrate to make the pointer in the middle of the canvas. You can then click color to choose your color. It'll open up a color selection wheel where you can choose your color. And then when you click on draw, it'll obviously draw to the canvas. When you click undo, it'll obviously undo what your last draw was. Keep in mind, you do only have 60 seconds, so you'll see how fast time flies. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to set up the live demo. Also another thing, so there's 3 rounds of 60 seconds each. Each round gets harder and harder with the words. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up a little live demo here. So what we need 3 teams, 3 extra teams that are going to be playing against Mike, who will represent the Bursars. So we can make up 2 people per team, 1 for guessing, 1 for drawing. Any volunteers? There is a little prize for the winning team at the end of it. Any volunteers? Okay. We'll set up everything for you, and we'll bring you the computers now. Yeah, okay. And Tony will obviously take part.
Tony can't take part.
Oh, Tony will take part on our phones because Tony doesn't like our stuff. So just for some context, Mike will be named as host on the player's scoreboard. Tony and whoever Tony's, Jason and Tony will be named Oreo. Another participant will be named Pi, and Gus and Max will be named Kit Kat.
Yeah. Just going to create a room. This thing's going to be in the way. Okay, the token is there. You guys see it? It's 1886605.
I'm Ivan. As they set up, I draw the short straw to comment on the first ever BBD Pictionary tournament. I will be supporting everybody. I'm not biased at all. I think everybody should have a fair chance at winning. It looks like all devices are ready and joined in the server, but that's really bad. That's really bad. You just want to make a new room.
I've just been informed that they don't like the current room ID, so we're going to have to create a new one. I'm sorry. So just click the leave game button.
It should be really easy since everybody's still logged in. Just going to create a new room with a new ID and then join from there. So as you can see on the text side right, as a person joins with their
What's wrong?
the ID.
Oh, the room ID is 1887474.
As a person joins with their screen, their name appears with the asterisk around next to it. And as soon as you join with your phone, it says ready. And then when the host sees that everybody is ready, the game can be started.
Cool. Clearly not the right one.
I'm getting bored. We have some complaints from the audience. They say they're getting bored. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. This is a new error that wasn't catched with the unit tests, and it is fixed just like that.
Cool.
So we had no problems with joining, and everybody's ready. Then they can start the game.
So is everyone ready to play? Yeah. Cool. We will click the start game.
And next to host, it's active, meaning the host will now choose a word.
So you can see there's my phone.
There you can see the dot on the screen. That is the server actual pointer. And now he's starting to draw. Okay, nobody's trying to guess what it is. It looks like a triangle. Oh, it is cheese. Well done to Top Pie. Well done. Now it is Pie's turn to choose a word on the phone. Yeah. You have to type and click submit or enter. So Pie is trying to draw. Who's trying to draw? Pie. I think it's...
There is an undo button.
Yes. That looks like a bunch of squiggly lines. It's not a chain or lines. Trying squiggly lines. It's not Parkinson. Pretty sure it looks like a green circle. Or We have no idea what this is. Does look like a cloud, but looks like it's not a cloud. Maybe a tree?
And it's a tree.
It's a tree. It was as easy as that. Well, with no hassle, we got it. Okay, now it's Oreo's turn to choose a word and to draw. Oreo. I think it's...
It'll show you on your phone.
Yes. He chose blue. The score is at the top right, with the host leading with 44.5 marks, Pi close second with 28, and Oreo and KitKat still with 0. It's not blue. He's drawing a droplet. Blue. Balloon. Balloon on a square.
Carrot? It's not a carrot.
It's not a carrot.
Pen? Pencil? Maybe?
Something to write.
Yeah.
It is
And
pencil.
there we go. Pie.
Well done to
No?
Pi.
Yeah, I got it right.
Pi got some marks. Now it's KitKat's turn to choose a word. Now they can start drawing. Just all draw.
We are taking people's guesses in the chat session.
It looks like a very beautiful river leading off into a sunset. But everything is blue, so we're not quite sure. Could be a mountain.
Only 30 seconds left.
Will they make it? It's not a giraffe. Sorry, Oreo.
In chicken.
You think
Dinosaur.
chicken? Is it maybe a chicken?
KFC from the chat section.
That looks like a chair.
Something you can sit on.
I think it's a chair.
But we don't know. Is it case sensitive?
And it's case sensitive.
We learn stuff every day. The more you learn,
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's not. The chair is not a name.
It's to make
It's an object.
it's to make
That's why it's
gameplay.
a small letter.
It's to make gameplay quicker. You don't have to hold the shift button. Okay. I need to
Now it's
draw.
back to the host to choose a word and start drawing.
I will choose a different color just to show that that works.
Okay, the host is drawing in orange.
That's not what I want.
He's quickly clearing the screen. See the
Ooh, that's
effortless
not
drawing. Less effortless drawing.
Trying.
It's a foot
It's just
from
it's
the
just gone
chat
badly.
section.
It's gone pear-shaped.
It's apparently a foot.
Orange.
I don't think it's a foot. Oh jeez, I've only got 19 seconds. Just ignore that beautiful line that is very out of place.
Toes
What
from
could it
Sonia.
be?
Oh, it's close. It's not a shell, but it's close.
A useless
Well done,
inductor.
Oreo. Very, very well done.
Bam.
Now it's back to Pi to choose a word, and then KitKat's struggling a bit, but
KitKat's lagging behind.
you can easily get a lot of points. It's still Pi's turn.
Where's Pi drawing?
They're
Pi needs to
having-
calibrate.
40 seconds left. Oh, to see something.
Panic.
It's a circle and another circle stripe and another
The chat
circle.
section hasn't gotten a single one right.
And now there's a bunch of things going through the circle. Looks like a green blob. It's a circle. It's a spool. Well done, KitKat. Very, very well done. Now it's back to Oreo. Oreo's choosing a word and starting to draw. Seeing the drawing gets easier and easier with practice. That's a beautiful.
It's apparently lies. That's the guess.
Lice. We can try. It's not lice.
It's not lies.
Lies as in lying.
Oh, lying.
Lies.
A robot.
Not a robot. Not a
Traffic
robot.
light. Traffic light.
Car and a robot.
Only 18 seconds left.
Traffic light is one of the
It's not traffic
guesses.
light.
Red, driver, Pokemon,
Crash. Green.
Crossroad.
intersection,
Not intersection.
It's not intersection. Oh, nobody got it.
It was a stoplight.
It was a stop.
Okay.
What? Now it's the Kit Kat to choose a word.
Okay.
Seeing a masterpiece being drawn right before your eyes.
And yeah, just a reminder, this is being done, whoever's controlling it, their own phone, separate phone. So right now it's Team Kit Kat is drawing with his phone, and I could say the art needs a little bit of work.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. I mean,
It looks like a piece of paper and some numbers on it.
it looks like a white canvas.
Could be anything.
puppy, cat, elephant.
Let's try all.
Those are the guesses so
Puppy.
far.
Why would you number your puppy?
It's none of the above.
It's not an
It's a
animal.
pillow,
Pillow.
a barcode,
2 seconds. Oh.
an event.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So that's how it works. So yes. Yeah, so the must be due to the extreme drawing skill of. Okay, like I was saying, it's quite cool. We had everyone here on different phones, on different laptops. People were using their phone as a nice little pen and drawing. That's why it's a little bit shaky. Some people are clearly quite nervous for the game. Lots of adrenaline going, very competitive. Okay. And who was the winning team? Pi. Team Pi, could you please come up and collect your prize? Is that Okay. Yeah. So the game allows currently for between 2 and 4 players. You can either be on a team, or one person can just be using their phone and a second device just to display it. There is a sensitivity option. The question was, did we experiment with some form of smoothing or interpolation to get rid of the jitter? What we did was we had a sensitivity number, but if we made it too big, then it would be all over the screen. If we made that number too large, it would be all over the screen. If it was too small, then it wouldn't move at all. So we found kind of a sweet spot, but we didn't do any like tracking to make sure it's only moving 5 instead of like 3 pixels, for example. Yeah. Are there any more questions? Either from here?
Can I?
Yeah.
A question from here. Just your technology choices. How do you guys make them? And did you have options? Why?
Yeah, so it's currently all cloud hosted. We're using AWS, Amazon Web Services. The server's actually in Cape Town. That's one of the reasons why it's so real time. It's a Node.js running on AWS. Locally on the phone, everything is just JavaScript. Same thing in the browser. Everything's just JavaScript, HTML, CSS, nothing else, not Angular or anything like that, just pure JavaScript. And the actual sensor is built into the JavaScript library, so you don't even have to import it.
So my real question is, did you guys make the technology stack that was provided to you, or did you guys make those choices?
We made those choices. There was experimentation with Firebase as well.
Okay.
But
Why did you chuck Firebase on?
You'll have to speak to the API team. I think that's just come.
Talk to us about why you made the technology choices you did.
So the part of Firebase that we wanted to utilize was the whole concept of serverless APIs. And once we realized that latency might become an issue, we looked to a solution using sockets. And unfortunately, that's not very plausible. Might be possible, but not plausible to use that with a serverless API. So we went over to our own hosting solution where we could just spawn up and do what we want. And that solved the latency issues as well.
Were there any other sort of maybe this and possibly that technology choices that you made?
Yeah, some bad choices that we had. Mainly abstraction layers where we would expose certain stuff that shouldn't really be exposed to the client side, but that was quickly fixed.
There's a question from the Zoom session, and the question is, you told us that you can have 2 to 4 players, but how many simultaneous games can you have at this point?
In theory, a lot. In practice, we haven't tested that yet, but I mean, it's going to be live for a while, so you guys are more than welcome to play and test that out and let us know.
Yes, we're about to post it. Yeah, so when we were testing, the server was actually playing with the server, and we were setting up about 40 rooms to try and check the drawing. So about 40 maybe, but those weren't simultaneous, so that is yet to be seen. And that is where it's currently hosted. You do have to make an account, but it's
so
very...
it's only going to all panelists, so that needs to be shared with all panelists and all participants.
My mistake.
I'll take care of it.
Okay. Lucky will take care of it? Yeah. All you have to do is make an account and log in. The phone and the laptop or the viewing device need to be logged in on the same account so that it can associate them. But apart from that, it's very straightforward. If you had one issue different.
Is there a pay for play option?
No. Currently it's free. Currently it's free to play with no ads, but that might change. Depending on how heavy the traffic gets.
There's another question for you.
If we did have one extra day for improvements, what would they be? Definitely the jitter, because it is quite difficult to hold the phone perfectly smooth. It's nearly impossible. Even when it's on the table, gravity is moving the phone more or less. Like it's constantly getting readings. That's on my end with the AirPlay. Any communication?
Yeah, from communications perspective, we took a pretty straightforward approach. Depending on the load of the server, we might move to end up using some load balancer or something, but I think the user experience as a whole could also be improved with a little bit extra time.
And on the front end, we did design in JavaScript, so it should fit to the right screen sizes. But if there is a bunch of issues, we would probably use user data to figure out better button placements and to see if we could use different containers to ensure that everybody on all devices can be supported.
From a gaming engine perspective, I truly think that we could really improve maybe on the scoring. I think the negative scoring impacted a couple of people quite negatively.
What? You didn't say anything about that.
Every time you guess wrong, you lose, I think, 1 point.
Yeah. So I think from a scoring perspective, we could be a little bit more lenient and maybe make the rounds a little bit longer, seeing as drawing is a little bit difficult when you have to move your phone around with your hands and stuff like that.